let's go fishing.
All right.
Hey, Brent, there's already one down here.
Come on, Brent. Should we try to catch a fish?
Yeah.
Okay. Let's see what's down this way.
Hi, I'm Bob Jensen. This is Fishing the Midwest. Thanks for stopping by. There are so many outstanding opportunities for largemouth bass in the Midwest. Today, John Peterson and Chip Lear and I are going to be chasing largemouth in shallow water. After that, we're going to be trolling with crankbaits for walleyes. First though, it's largemouth bass, shallow water. Here we go. One thing that I always look forward to when it comes to fishing is fishing for largemouth bass in shallow water. It's just a fun thing to do. It's visual, you can see the strike much of the time, it's toe-to-toe combat with the bass, and best of all, when the bass are in the shallows, they're often biters. This past June, shortly after the Minnesota Bass Opener, Chip Lear and John Peterson and I got together to catch bass in shallow water, specifically in the rushes. We had done this before and we're looking forward to doing it again. We just knew the bass would be in the rushes. They always are at this time of the year. We got in the boat, Chip was in the bow, I was in the middle, JP was bringing up the rear. JP was tying on a spinnerbait and Chip was casting and catching right away.
There we go.
Got him?
Yep.
Good one?
I don't know, I gotta get him up on top right now. He's stuck in those weeds,
Get him
man.
up here, buddy.
You gotta hoist him out of there. There he is. There he is. There he is. Oh, nice way to start a day. Holy smokes.
I think that was your third cast, Chip, something like that.
That might be an indication of good things to come when you start a day just like that.
Look at that.
Spinnerbait. Yep.
I'm still trying to tie up. Wait a little bit. Make it fair. I haven't got my line in the water yet.
He's got nothing tied on. Best search bait in the world this time of year. Some great largemouth bass.
We continued on, but nothing much was happening. So I threw a swim jig to the deeper water off the other side of the boat and got bit.
He's coming up. That's a bass. Is it? Oh yeah, he rolled right on the surface, man. Nice one. Whoa, doggy.
He was out there a ways,
Yeah,
wasn't
he was. Well, you know what? Long casts pay off with
Yeah.
a bright sun like this. Nice.
He was way out there.
Hey, Bob, that's a pretty nice little fish. You got him out deep out there?
Yeah.
I continued to throw that swim jig to the deep water, but nothing happened, so I turned around and threw it to the shallows. Hook up.
Got him?
Yep. So far.
Oh, nice.
You know, when
How
they're back
fun
in
is
there-
that?
I know it. But he doesn't
Wanna
want to
go
come
in?
out.
You wanna go get him?
There he came out. He came out. You got to get these guys headed your way right away, don't you?
Get him up. Oh, beauty. It's a fat one, Bob.
Yeah, I know.
That's what's great about bass fishing, Bob, though. It isn't this dainty, meaty walleye stuff. When you're gonna stick him, you gotta stick him and pull him out of the weeds. I thought he was a lot bigger when he first came up. Thought it was about a 4-pounder. There we go.
Nice.
He was out a ways,
Yeah, he
wasn't
was.
Chip?
He was out away. He's actually in this emerging cabbage out
Yeah.
here, right on the outside.
Yeah.
Nice one, though.
Oh, yeah.
That's a big fish to hoist up like that.
I know. I know.
That's the fun part, though.
That is. And that's what makes this a good spot, is you got cabbage right up next to the weeds, the
Yep.
rushes.
There's lots of places for these fish to hide. They're not limited. And I think that's one of the reasons that we're throwing the baits we are today, is because you want to cover a lot of water. We're not going to precise spot-on-spot stuff. Right now, it's early enough in the day. We're just searching out and finding, making contact with these fish.
Singles.
Yep.
Yep.
Out in this big, vast forest of fish habitat.
We continued to throw shallow and deep with different baits and continued to catch a bass here and there, but there was no real pattern. Okay, they're not really where we thought they'd be, so we're gonna make a little move when we come back. Let's see what happens when we do that. Fishing the Midwest is presented by Northland Fishing Tackle, made by fishermen for fishermen. Cabela's, the world's foremost outfitter of hunting, fishing, and outdoor gear. Ranger Boats, still building legends, one at a time. And Growth Energy, America's ethanol supporters.
All right, Austin, you got Harvick on the inside and the Ferguson family riding hot behind you. The who? Ferguson's, beige minivan, and they're late for a soccer game, so if you could, get a move on.
NASCAR is powered by a blend of 15% American ethanol.
Man, those Fergusons are fast.
E15 is made for your car, too. Try not to let it go to your head. Learn more about the benefits of E15 at American Ethanol's Facebook page.
Focused, driven, and engineered to excel. This is the all-new Ranger Z520C. From the total performance hull to a revolutionary interior design, it's our most advanced bass boat to date. Combined with Evinrude E-Tech's power, performance, and 300 hours with no dealer schedule maintenance, this is a level of leadership that's easy to see and hard to follow. Experience more with Evinrude.
Impulse soft baits. 143% more effective than the competition.
And the best alternative to live bait.
Unique colors, actions, scent.
Impulse soft plastics catch more fish, period.
Lake Kabetogama in Voyageurs National Park is your year-round destination for experiencing nature at its finest. Enjoy the solitude of the pristine wilderness while having all the comforts of home available at the many full-service resorts. The fishing is world-class. So are all the other outdoor activities that are abundant in all the seasons. Cab is the perfect place for your family or group of friends, and Cab is an easy drive from anywhere in the Midwest. Kabetogama Lake in northern Minnesota. Discover Cab now. Welcome back to Fishing the Midwest. Here's a really important concept. When the fish aren't where you think they should be, go somewhere else. That's what we're going to do right now. We're chasing largemouth bass in shallow water. We're throwing spinner baits and swim jigs. We're catching a few, but the action isn't what it should be. Look at this cover, it's beautiful, but the bass just aren't in here in the numbers we thought they should be, so we did what you should do when you're not catching them. When the fish aren't responding to what you're doing, do something else. We headed to a different part of the lake and threw our baits in shallow bays that had lots of lily pads and that sort of shallow water cover. We'd fished areas like this with lots of success in the past, and you know what happened? Nothing. The action was even slower, so we needed to do something else. We noticed a small river entering the lake. Actually, it was more like a creek. We doubted there was enough water to float a boat in there, but we decided to head upstream as far as we could. We got in just a bit when we discovered there was someone home.
Fish on?
Fish on.
Nice. Nice one.
Fish on. He whacked that spinnerbait. Oh boy, he just whacked it.
He did.
He just whacked
All right.
it.
Kind of in a fishy looking spot.
Yeah, yeah. Now in this shallow water, you know, we're fishing, you can see bottom. Quiet is a pretty important deal, isn't it?
Yeah, Bob, when you're in shallow water, obviously, you know, you got to be pretty stealthy and you know, be quiet, silent approach, try to make longer casts. Usually is much more productive than if you stomp around. They can hear that stuff and they know that there's something unusual, and they go on high alert, and you're not going to catch those fish. So be stealthy, quiet, make long casts when you're in the shallow water.
We decided we needed to investigate further, so we continued upstream. Here's what we're doing. The river is really narrow here, maybe 20 yards wide. We're each throwing to a different zone. I'm throwing a Reed Runner spinnerbait to the middle of the channel. JP is throwing to one side of the boat. Chip's throwing to the other side. The shallow edge of the channel has lots of vegetation.
Now, there's one. Got him, Bob?
Got him, Bob?
Nice. Good one, too.
Oh, nice.
Nice fat one. That is a fat fish.
And that one was...
Bob is on him up there.
Did he scare you, Chip?
Wow, he's a dandy.
That's a nice one. Just nice fat ones. Look at that guy. Boy, oh boy.
Nice. There's your big one.
Tell you what.
There's your big one.
He was right on the edge.
Jawbreaker too,
He
huh?
hit that spoon?
Well, yeah, spoon
Nice.
fishing, man. Jawbreakers finding when, you know what, spinner baits, when you can get that stuff through there, when the spinner starts to get full of weeds and stuff, that jawbreaker pulls them out nice. Plump one too.
Nice one.
So if you can, Chip, you know, we got kind of some open water, some really
I'll let him go.
Lots of cover.
Yeah.
Is a spinnerbait and a spoon a good 1-2 type deal?
Well, they're essentially the same thing. I mean, you get a little more flash, of course, when that blade's spinning around, Bob, but for the most part, that's kind of what the jawbreaker is doing. It's got the, it's got the fish pattern and the holographic finish on one side, and you've got that reflective side on the interior, so as that rolls and wobbles through that thicker cover, you get a little bit of flash. Best part is the way it's made to go through those weeds is that's going to lay on top of it.
Fish.
And that brush guard is going to keep them free, just like that. Nice job, Bob.
Now that one was way out in the middle here. He was way out here in the middle.
Nice one too.
Yeah.
You see, and that's what we just talked about.
Nice.
Was the spinnerbait thing and the jawbreaker spoon type deal. And these are solid fish. I mean, they're not long, but they're solid. But I'm working that spinnerbait right down the middle of the channel here. And it's not real deep. What is it? About 5 feet. Right down the middle here.
Here's that jawbreaker that Chip was talking about. When you need to get a bait back in the heaviest cover, a jawbreaker is a really good way to go. The spinnerbait we're using is a Pro Series Reed Runner in the 3/8 ounce size. The Reed Runner is just an outstanding spinnerbait. Runs good, good colors, just really good. We're throwing the spinnerbait and the spoon mostly on bionic bass braid and 40-pound test. It seems like we found them. When we come back, we'll catch some more. Stay tuned. Fishing the Midwest is presented by Bionic Line, your fish, your line. Beautiful Cabotogama Lake, gateway to Voyageurs National Park. Evinrude E-Tech, 300 hours, no dealer scheduled maintenance. Nature's Fury, all the vitamins, more juice.
The leader in ice fishing. Before you head out here, get ready at Cabela's, your source for the hottest new gear at tough-to-beat prices. Save big on everything you need when you shop by catalog, stores, and online at Cabela's.com. Our legendary selection is field-tested and field-proven. You can trust our gear. Cabela's, world's foremost outfitter.
At Al's Specialty Marine, service is their specialty. The Bruggentheis family has been in the boat business for almost 35 years. For performance and reliability, you can't beat a Ranger boat team with an Evinrude motor. Their staff knows exactly how to rig your boat for maximum pleasure. Al's Specialty Marine also has premier pontoons and a wide variety of other boats that will fit your needs. Al's Specialty Marine will do an outstanding job of taking care of all your boating needs.
Al's Specialty Marine, stop on by. Al's Specialty Marine.
Evinrude E-Tech has been outperforming four-stroke engines for years. But what about the latest 150 four-strokes that claim to deliver two-stroke-like torque? See the proof for yourself. Get your free DVD now and watch how the two-stroke Evinrude E-Tech 150 outpulls and out-accelerates the four-stroke competition. See how it wins when it comes to maintenance, ease of winterization, and more. Evinrude E-Tech is the true champion. Go to Evinrude150challenge.com and get your free DVD now.
Impulse soft baits. 143% more effective than the competition.
And the best alternative to live bait.
Unique colors, actions, scent.
Impulse soft plastics catch more fish, period.
Welcome back to Fishing the Midwest. The bite is really picking up. Let's get out and catch some more.
Chip, we're kind of fishing where a river, small river, comes into the lake. And that last fish you caught was kind of on the outside bend where the current and the river channel washes up against the bank. Is that typically a good area?
Exactly, Bob. I mean, if you think about it, a small creek or a small river like we have here is going to act just like a big river on a minuscule type of form. So any outside curve where there's current is going to dredge a hole, which is going to create a slightly deeper trough, and those deeper troughs connect and hold bait, which hold the larger fish. And you know, it's the same way here. We're going to get a little bit of a cut bank. There could be a little bit of a shelter there, and that could be where that fish came from as well. But these little creeks and streams, if there's current, there's going to be a deeper dredge on the outside corner.
Boy, the river keeps getting narrower and shallower, and the fishing keeps getting better.
Fish on.
Fish on.
Yeah, just a little buck. They're still fun though.
Absolutely.
I got one.
I got one.
You got one?
I got one.
Nice.
I got one.
I think we found ourselves a school.
Yeah.
Look at there.
Got another good one up there.
I like him.
Oh, that's good.
I'm liking him. Yeah, I know.
All I'm saying is, JP, you might want to get to the front deck.
Oh, I don't have a chance back here.
That's what I'm saying.
Just wailing on him.
You always cast when Bob's out of the water. That's a good ticket, too.
These are just nice fish. Just nice, healthy fish. So, you know, it's early June. Typically, you know, we think about fishing out, rushes, that sort of thing, like we started doing.
Oh, there was another bump right there.
And we caught a few out there, but not as many as you thought we should. So we did something different. That's a pretty good concept most of the time. If you're not catching them doing what you're doing, do something different, right?
You got to mix it up to be successful. You know that. I mean, fish are there. You'll make contact with them. If you're, especially in clear water like what we're dealing with now, if we're not catching them, we would have seen them up in that shallow water. Come on up, JP.
JP has been in the back of the boat all day, fishing the water that Chip and I had already fished. Chip and I decided to play nice and made room for JP in the bow.
Oh, man, Bob, I knew we should have never left him up here. Let him up here.
I know. If you give him a chance, he'll take advantage.
I know he will.
See, I haven't been up here for
you give him
30 seconds.
Chance.
Not the biggest one in the lake, but
no, but you're
gonna stand up here and rub shoulders with these guys and give them a little competition.
Boy, what a day on the water. Beautiful weather, fish that bit once we figured them out, and great fishing partners. To me, that's what fishing is about. And remember, when the fish aren't where you think they should be, or when they're not eating what you think they should be eating, go somewhere else or use something else. If you do that, you'll catch more fish. Now keep that in mind. When the fish aren't doing what you think they should be doing, you gotta try something else. When we come back, we're gonna try something else. We're gonna be trolling crankbaits for walleyes. Stay tuned. Fishing the Midwest is brought to you by Impulse. Excite the bite with scent, color, and action. Fraybill. Trusted gear since 1938. WalleyeLeather.com. If you are a truly rabid walleye person, you should have already had this stuff. Dakota Grills. Unleash your inner chef.
Focused, driven, and engineered to excel. This is the all-new Ranger Z520C. From the total performance hull to a revolutionary interior design, it's our most advanced bass boat to date. Combined with Evinrude E-Tech's power, performance, and 300 hours with no dealer schedule maintenance, this is a level of leadership that's easy to see and hard to follow. Experience more with Evinrude.
At Al's Specialty Marine, service is their specialty. The Bruggentheis family has been in the boat business for almost 35 years. For performance and reliability, you can't beat a Ranger boat team with an Evinrude motor. Their staff knows exactly how to rig your boat for maximum pleasure. Al's Specialty Marine also has premier pontoons and a wide variety of other boats that will fit your needs. Al's Specialty Marine will do an outstanding job of taking care of all your boating needs.
Al's Specialty Marine, stop on by. Al's Specialty Marine.
Lake Kabetogama in Voyageurs National Park is your year-round destination for experiencing nature at its finest. Enjoy the solitude of the pristine wilderness while having all the comforts of home available at the many full-service resorts. The fishing is world-class. So are all the other outdoor activities that are abundant in all the seasons. Cab is the perfect place for your family or group of friends, and Cab is an easy drive from anywhere in the Midwest. Kabetogama Lake in northern Minnesota. Discover Cab now.
I'm in the acting track at my school, so I love theater.
Oh, wow. Thinking about Broadway.
from the Academy. Ladies and gentlemen, that's a wrap.
Before you head out here, get ready at Cabela's, your source for the hottest new gear at tough-to-beat prices. Save big on everything you need when you shop by catalog, stores, and online at Cabela's.com. Our legendary selection is field-tested and field-proven. You can trust our gear. Cabela's, world's foremost outfitter.
Welcome back to Fishing the Midwest. When you want to catch fish, you need to cover water. Crankbaits allow you to do that. Let's see if we can catch some walleyes and crankbaits. Over the years, I've been in on a lot of crankbait bites. One of the best crankbait bites I've ever encountered have been when I visited Lewis and Clark Lake in the Missouri River near Yankton, South Dakota. When it comes to just plain catching fish, this area is tops. And Scott Madison is one of the best at getting anglers on this bite. Following are some ideas that Scott has about putting fish in the boat with crankbaits. Scott, here in Yankton, on the Lewis and Clark area, you've got the river and you got the lake. Do you find that they'll produce differently at different times?
The river fishing seems to be very stable all summer long. The lake, it's got its peak periods. You know, right now, early spring is great, late fall is great. You know, when that water temperature is up to 85 degrees, sometimes it really gets tough to catch some walleyes. You got to go pretty deep on the lake. They seem to scatter. And right now, we got them in bunches. You're seeing a lot of doubles and triples and stuff like that. So it's a little bit easier to fish them this time of year in this river. You know, we didn't go to the lake because we had weather problems, and that's what's so great about our river being right here. We can just jump down on the river and go catch our fish.
Crankbaits come in a lot of shapes. Usually a longer, thinner shape will be better for walleyes. A new crankbait that has a really good walleye shape and wobble is the Executor from Salmo. Kind of a hybrid shape as Salmo's Hornet. It's a great river bait, but it appeals to all fish anywhere. Crankbaits can be difficult to store. The hooks always get tangled up. Plano has created a very nice crankbait box. Crankbaits don't get tangled if you store them lip to lip. It's the Plano 3607 series of crankbait organizers. If you fish crankbaits, you need one of these. Scott, what is it you look for to set up a trolling pass on the river?
I look for current breaks, just about anything out of the heavy current. And
right at the edge of it?
On the edge or right in the dead water itself.
Yep.
And they like to relax just like we do. They come up here to feed.
I'm in your other line here, Scott.
Okay.
There's some weight here, though. Here, he's right here. Why don't we get that net, Scott?
Net going here.
I don't know what it is. Did you see him there? Is that a walleye?
Sure is. Pretty nice one, too.
Yeah. Pretty nice.
There we go.
Absolutely. Absolutely. When it comes to line, different anglers have different ideas. Some like monofilament, some like a super line. Mono has some stretch, Superline has no stretch. Superline is stronger. 10-pound test Superline has about the same diameter as 3-pound mono. In the river where line visibility isn't as critical, I like to go heavier. 10 or 12-pound test Bionic walleye line is good. If you prefer a Superline, go with about 15-pound test Bionic walleye braid. How much line you let out is an important consideration, especially when using multiple lines. Here's some good advice from Scott on that. Scott, we're trolling with the same size crankbaits. But you've got us letting the back line out about 110 feet and the front line about 80 feet. How come?
Well, as you notice, we kind of swerve around on this edge of this brake line here, in and out of the current brake. And that's just basically keeps us from being tangled up. And more proficient, less time you're tangled up, the more fish you catch.
We're trolling upstream much of the time when fishing rivers. We like our bait moving downstream in a natural manner, but when trolling crankbaits, you'll have much better boat control and speed control when trolling upstream. While we continue up the creek, let's make a run to Cabela's.
Mike, I've been hearing about these straight line reels, and they're kind of a departure from the traditional. What's the deal with these?
Well, this is Frabil's Straight Line 101 combo. It's a nice little combo with a blank through the handle graphite rod for good sensitivity with a nice indicator tip. But the main feature is the reel. The line comes straight off the reel just like a fly fishing reel would. Eliminates the line twist so you don't have that constant coiling going down your ice hole. Best used in probably the shallower water applications.
And the advantage of that, as I understand it, is your bait doesn't spin underneath the water.
Sure, everybody's brought up their bait and watched that little jig sit and spin. A little bit of an unnatural movement to the fish, so this line will go straight down, allowing that jig to perform like it was designed.
And there are times when that makes a difference.
Oh, you bet. On some of these finicky bites, when these fronts come through every other day, that can make all the difference. If you want to present your bait in the most natural way possible, Frabil's Straight Line Combo is the way to go, available at Cabela's.
Great product information and great fishing. That's what we've got today. Notice the angle of the rods and the rod holders. The back rod is at a higher angle. The front rod is at a lower angle. This helps prevent tangles, and the lower angle on the front rod with a shorter line out allows that bait to run a little deeper. A little detail, but little details put fish in the boat. Rod holders are a very important tool with this technique. Fullby rod holders are as good as it gets. They're super strong, and when a fish hits, you can get the rod out of the holder so much easier. You simply lift straight up. Fullby rod holders might be hard to find, but they're definitely worth a search. Watch how easily the rod comes out of the rod holder. This one doesn't feel very big either. He's getting bigger now. Ooh. Crankbaits catch walleyes, no doubt. They also catch lots of other species of fish. If you're looking for action, get on a river and start trolling with crankbaits. The Missouri River near Yankton, South Dakota would be a great place to refine your trolling tactics. You'll get bit regularly and you'll have a good time. And that's why most of us go fishing.
Crankbaits really catch walleyes, especially in rivers. And remember, when they aren't doing what you think they should be doing, try something else, you'll catch more fish. Hey, for all of us at Fishing the Midwest, thanks for stopping by. Be nice to one another. We'll see you again next time.
All right, guys, let's go home.